Hello everybody, it is Sunday the 18th of December. I want to talk about Sophia and Yaldaboath, which are obviously terms that come from a wisdom teaching, that teaching being the secret book of John in the Nag Hammadi scriptures. Now, to start with, in order to get the wisdom from that teaching, you must use the correct meaning for the words, for the terms. You must use John's meaning for those terms, because the meaning is the key into the story. And if you give a different meaning to the words, you're talking about something completely different. So I've just heard a video where somebody gave the meaning to the word Sophia as in that is nature, that is the mother, that is this world, and that is not who she is according to John. But you must go with John's meaning to hear what he is saying. So, to John, the meaning of Sophia is that she is wisdom of insight. Yeah? She is wisdom gained out of insight. So she gained insight into a problem. You know, she went deeper into it. And that is head knowledge. Sophia is head knowledge. So she went deeper into a problem and she got insight into that problem. And she gained wisdom about that problem. That is who she is. And then Sophia created out of herself without a husband. And that was her mistake. And the outcome of that was Yaldaboath. Now, if Sophia creates something out of herself, there is nothing added to her. It is still what she is, only on a different level. Yeah? So if Sophia was wisdom of insight, and her thought was that she was like the Father, like all, or that she was enough to create, she needed nothing else. And then you have the next level of delusion, which is Yaldaboath, which is, I am all. There is nothing else. So that's what that story says. It is the next level of delusion. From I'm thinking I'm enough. You know, there is others, but they're not, there's other things, but they're not needed. I can just create out of myself. To I am the only thing here. So that's what's happening in that story. Now, as I said in my video before, I've been going east into the teachings of Advaita Vedanta. And it's really good to get another perspective or another thought into this problem. Because in the end, at the beginning, yeah, we all knew the same thing. The idea of the underlying reality of something, you know, that is all, was there with all at the beginning. And then the different branches, you know, started reasoning about it. But so in this teaching, in the teaching of the rishis, truth is supported by three pillars. And all three pillars must be there. So the first pillar is Shruti, which is scripture. Now scripture is the knowledge. Yeah? I bring you the knowledge of the Father. That's scripture. Now, scripture on its own is not truth. You need the next pillar, which is yukti, which is reason. That is Sophia. reason gains insight into the scripture, into the knowledge. It goes deeper into it. It reasons about it. But then, so we're now on the level of Sophia. But then Sophia needs a husband. And that is the next pillar. And that is Anubhava. Anubhava, which is experience. You must experience what scripture, what knowledge and reason has said. And the experience must bear out, must also come into agreement with the other two pillars. And it is only in the thinking of the rishis, it can only be accepted as a truth if it is supported by all three pillars. That's actually a very good idea. So if you see at the moment Christians, as it stands, sitting in church like parrots, repeat after me, they're stuck with only one pillar, which is scripture. You know, this is the truth, repeat after me. You're not allowed to use the other two pillars to bear it out. You cannot reason about it. And, well, your experience is nothing anyway. This is not real, you know. So your brain is the village idiot, and you should beat the flesh daily to keep that reasoning down. So you're stuck only on scripture. Now, at the moment, we are again in a world where we feel something is out of balance. And it most certainly is. Because what we're being told, again, as the first pillar, as scripture, as knowledge, there is a knowledge. And then we have Yukti, which is the scientists, saying we, and Sophia, yeah, we have wisdom of insight into that knowledge, yeah? And then you are sitting here with your third pillar, which is experience, and your experience just doesn't bear out what the other two are saying, yeah? But then don't worry about it, because this is nothing. You know, this is nothing. Forget it. Don't reason. Unless you have actually managed to get yourself completely into the delusion, which is Yaldaboath. Yeah? And you are in the delusion of Yaldaboath if you can actually sit here at the moment, probably without any means of heating, freezing cold, and at the same time you can actually fret about global warming. Yeah? Then you are fully in the delusion of Yaldaboath, where the wisdom of insight, science, is all. And if your flesh tells you something, your experience tells you something else, you know, you are in a delusion, because they are the light. And again, you're not on all three pillars. Now, if we could actually get to that point, yeah, where we accept our experience as another witness, that is every bit as important as the other two, and that you need all three pillars to determine a truth. If we could even get to that point where we've been driven at the moment away from that, you know, oh, this is nothing. Your experience is not real. So let's say we get to all three pillars, maybe. We're actually reasoning. Then what Jesus taught brings another problem. And that is that he says, with the Father, everything is possible, and that through this portal, the body, we can actually bring into reality anything and everything. Yeah? He is the door through which all shall enter. Then we need another pillar of reasoning. because then everything is truth. So we need another pillar of reasoning if that were to happen. And that pillar of reasoning is the very first question. And that is it good or is it bad? Again, you're being brought away from that pillar, especially when you're stuck in scripture. It is of God and everything is good. Yeah? And if you experience it as bad, well, you are but dust. You know nothing. And just keep going into the darkness because you will see the light in the end. Well, if this is a sphere and we survive long enough, then theoretically we should come back to the light, but it's going to be a very long and very painful way. So maybe we should start reasoning about good and bad. And to me, if you say the field is all, and that this world is not the only thing that is created out of this field, but that there are other worlds, then maybe some of the knowledge in that field was not meant to sustain this place. It is still good, but it wasn't meant for here. It was meant for somewhere else where it does work. So that should be our fourth pillar of reasoning. Does it sustain life? Is it good in this world? That's not to say it is, we're not to judge it as bad, but we should have the maturity to say, well, it is possible, but that was not meant for me, because it does not work for me. And just because I can have it doesn't mean I should have it. But you need to be grown up to think like that. Anyway, I think I leave it at that for today. Just going back to the beginning, if you reason about Sophia and about Yaldaboath, you must use the definitions that John gave to those terms. Because his reasoning was born out of his definitions, and if you do not use the definitions, you do not see his reasoning. So Sophia is wisdom born out of insight. It is rational thought, and it is not the only thing in town. And as I said, as far as the rishis are concerned, you need 3 pillars to establish truth, and one of them is experience. You need to test drive that thought. And yeah, if we come to the stage where we say everything is possible, we need another pillar to reason with. Yeah, I will leave it at that, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.